Captain Kim stood on the bridge of the New Seoul, watching the stars drift past the main window. His hands gripped the metal rail as he stared at the strange readings on the screen. 3 weeks they had been traveling through empty space, looking for something that should not exist. "Captain, we are getting close to the signal source," said Communications Officer Cho. Her voice was quiet but steady. She had been tracking the energy readings for days now. The readings made no sense. They were too strong, too organized, too alien. Dr. Lee looked up from her science station. "The energy patterns are unlike anything we have seen before. Whatever is making this signal, it is not natural." She pushed her glasses up her nose and turned to face the captain. "Sir, I think we should be very careful." Captain Kim nodded. The New Seoul was a research ship, not a warship. His crew were scientists and explorers, not soldiers. But they had come too far to turn back now. Earth needed to know what was out here in the dark between the stars. "Security Chief Park, prepare a boarding team," Kim ordered. "Dr. Lee, you will come with us. We need your expertise if we find alien technology." Park stepped forward. He was a big man with careful eyes. "Captain, I recommend we send drones first. If there is danger, we should know about it before we risk human lives." "Agreed," Kim said. "Launch the exploration drones." The drones flew ahead of the New Seoul like metal birds. On the main screen, the crew watched as the drones approached their target. What they saw made everyone on the bridge go silent. Floating in space was a massive alien station. It was dark and twisted, made from materials that looked like black glass and twisted metal. Strange symbols covered its surface, glowing with a pale blue light. The station was larger than 3 Earth cities put together. "My God," whispered Dr. Lee. "It is beautiful and terrible at the same time." The drones flew closer to the station. Their cameras showed empty corridors and rooms filled with alien machinery. Everything was quiet. Nothing moved inside the station except the drones themselves. "No life signs detected," reported Cho. "The station appears to be abandoned." Captain Kim made his decision. "We go aboard. Park, choose your best people. Dr. Lee, bring your scanning equipment. If this station has been abandoned, we need to learn everything we can about whoever built it." 2 hours later, the boarding team stood in the airlock of the alien station. There were 6 humans in total. Captain Kim led the team. Dr. Lee carried her scientific instruments. Security Chief Park and his 2 guards carried energy weapons. Engineer Han carried tools and repair equipment. The airlock opened with a soft hiss. The air inside the station was breathable but cold. Emergency lights cast strange shadows on the walls. The humans stepped inside carefully, their footsteps echoing in the empty corridors. "The technology is incredible," Dr. Lee said, scanning the walls with her instruments. "These materials are stronger than anything we can make. And look at these power systems. They are still running after who knows how many years." The team moved deeper into the station. They found rooms filled with alien computers and strange machinery. Everything was covered in dust, but the machines still hummed with power. Strange symbols and writing covered every surface. "Captain," called Engineer Han from across a large room. "You need to see this." The team gathered around Han. He was standing near a massive door that was partially open. Through the gap, they could see another room filled with a soft blue light. "The power readings are off the charts in there," Han said. "Whatever is inside that room, it is the source of the energy signals we detected." Captain Kim looked at his team. Everyone was nervous but excited. This was the discovery they had hoped for. Proof that humans were not alone in the universe. "We go in together," Kim decided. "Stay close and stay alert." The team pushed through the door into the blue-lit room. What they found inside changed everything. The room was huge, with a ceiling that disappeared into darkness. In the center stood a massive crystal that pulsed with blue energy. The crystal was beautiful but alien, shaped like nothing found on Earth. Around the crystal were dozens of smaller machines, all humming with power. "Incredible," breathed Dr. Lee. "This is some kind of power source, but it is like nothing in our science books." That was when they heard the sound. It started as a low vibration in the floor. Then it became a noise like metal scraping against stone. The sound echoed through the room, coming from somewhere in the darkness above them. "What was that?" asked Han, his voice shaking. Security Chief Park raised his weapon. "Everyone stay calm. It might just be the station settling." But the sound came again, louder this time. And with it came something else. A feeling that they were being watched. Dr. Lee checked her instruments. "I am detecting a large life form. It is moving above us in the ceiling area." The blue light from the crystal suddenly flickered. The room became darker. In that moment of near darkness, they saw it. Something moved in the shadows above them. Something large and black with too many arms and eyes that glowed like burning coals. It clung to the ceiling like a giant spider, watching them with alien intelligence. "Dear God," whispered Captain Kim. "What is that thing?" The creature dropped from the ceiling with impossible grace. It landed between the humans and the door, cutting off their escape. Up close, it was even more terrifying. It stood 3 meters tall, covered in black armor-like skin. 6 arms ended in claws that could cut through steel. Its face was a nightmare of too many eyes and sharp teeth. Engineer Han panicked. He pulled out his emergency weapon and fired without thinking. The energy blast hit the creature in the chest, burning through its dark skin. Blue blood splattered on the floor. The creature roared with pain and anger. The sound was like breaking glass and screaming metal. It rushed toward the humans with frightening speed. "Run!" shouted Captain Kim. The team scattered in different directions. The creature chased them, its claws sparking against the metal walls. Park and his guards fired their weapons, but the creature was too fast, too strong. It seemed more angry than hurt by their attacks. In the chaos, the creature cornered Dr. Lee near the crystal. She fell to the ground, certain she was about to die. The creature raised its claws to strike, but then something strange happened. The creature stopped. It looked at Dr. Lee with its burning eyes, tilted its head like it was confused, then suddenly turned and ran. It disappeared into the dark corridors of the station, leaving the humans alone and terrified. "Is everyone alive?" called Captain Kim. The team gathered together, shaking with fear and adrenaline. They had survived their first contact with alien life, but barely. "We need to get back to the ship," Park said. "That thing could come back." As they ran toward their shuttle, none of them noticed the blue blood on the floor, or the way the creature had looked at Dr. Lee before it ran away. None of them understood that what they called a demon might be something else entirely. The creature was now loose aboard their ship, hiding in the dark spaces between the walls. And none of them knew that Dr. Lee was carrying something precious that would change everything. Her baby daughter Hana was waiting for them back on the New Soul. 3 weeks had passed since the encounter at the alien station. The New Soul was now traveling through empty space, heading back toward Earth. But the ship did not feel safe anymore. Dr. Lee sat in her quarters, holding her baby daughter Hana. The little girl was only 6 months old with bright eyes and soft black hair. Hana had been born during the long journey to explore new worlds. She was the first human baby to travel so far from Earth. "Shh, little one," Dr. Lee whispered as Hana started to cry. Everything is okay, but everything was not okay. For 3 weeks, strange things had been happening on the ship. Equipment would break down for no reason. The lights would flicker in empty corridors, and there were sounds in the walls at night. Captain Kim walked into the ship's meeting room, where his officers were waiting. Security Chief Park looked tired. His eyes were red from staying awake too many nights. "Report," Kim said as he sat down. "The security sweeps found nothing again," Park said, "but I know that thing is still on the ship. My men hear it moving through the air vents at night." Engineer Han nodded. "The life support systems keep having small problems. Nothing dangerous, but things that should not break are breaking. It is like something is crawling through our machinery." Communications Officer Cho looked worried. "Captain, the crew is getting scared. They think the demon from the station is hunting us. Some of them want to abandon ship at the next space station." Captain Kim rubbed his forehead. He was tired too. "Dr. Lee, what do your sensors tell us?" Dr. Lee shifted baby Hana to her other arm. I detect movement sometimes, but it is always in places we cannot reach, behind the walls, in the ventilation systems, in the spaces between decks. Whatever it is, it knows our ship better than we do now. It is planning something, Park said. Demons do not just hide, they wait for the right moment to attack. That night, Dr. Lee put baby Hana to sleep in her small crib. The baby's room was next to Dr. Lee's quarters, connected by a door that was always open. Dr. Lee wanted to hear if her daughter needed anything. At 2 a.m, Hana started crying. Dr. Lee woke up quickly and went to check on her baby. But when she entered the baby's room, she found something strange. The room was warmer than it should be. The air recycling system was running at full power, making the air fresh and clean. But Dr. Lee had not changed any settings. That is odd, she said to herself as she picked up Hana. The baby stopped crying immediately and fell back asleep in her mother's arms. Dr. Lee checked the room's environmental controls. Someone or something had adjusted the temperature and air flow 2 hours ago. But the computer showed no record of anyone entering the room. The next day brought more strange events. Engineer Han was working in the main engine room when he discovered something that made no sense. "Captain, you need to see this," Han called over the communication system. Captain Kim and Dr. Lee met Han in the engine room. He was standing next to a large air recycling unit that had been broken for days. "This machine was completely dead yesterday," Han said. "The power coupling was burned out. It would have taken me hours to fix it. But look at it now. The machine was running perfectly. The power coupling had been repaired with materials that came from other parts of the ship. The work was skillful and precise." "Who fixed this?" "Captain," Kim asked. "That is the problem," Han said. "Nobody did. I found the machine like this when I came to work today. But look at these scratches around the repair area." The metal around the repair showed long scratches, like claw marks, but the claws had been careful not to damage anything important. Dr. Lee felt a chill run down her back. It was the creature, but why would it fix our machines? "Maybe it needs the ship to keep working," Park suggested. "If the life support fails, it dies too." But Dr. Lee was not sure. Something about this felt different. That night, baby Hana would not stop crying. Nothing Dr. Lee did could calm her daughter down. The baby was not sick or hungry. She just seemed upset about something. Dr. Lee walked around her quarters, holding Hana and trying to help her sleep. The baby's crying echoed through the quiet ship corridors. Then Dr. Lee heard something that made her heart stop. From somewhere in the walls came an answering sound. It was not human, but it was not threatening either. It sounded almost like the creature was trying to comfort the crying baby. Dr. Lee stood very still, listening. The sound came again, softer this time. It was coming from the air vent above baby Hana's room. "Hello?" Dr. Lee whispered to the darkness. The sound stopped immediately. But baby Hana had stopped crying too. The little girl was looking up at the ceiling with curious eyes as if she could see something her mother could not. The next morning, Dr. Lee told Captain Kim about what she had heard. The captain listened carefully, but he looked worried. "Dr. Lee, I think the stress is getting to all of us," Kim said gently. "You have been working too hard and sleeping too little. Maybe you should rest more." But Dr. Lee knew what she had heard, and she was starting to suspect that the creature was not just hiding on their ship. It was watching them. Watching her. Baby. Security Chief Park increased the armed patrols. His guards walked the corridors day and night, carrying weapons and scanners, but they never found the creature. "It is too smart," Park told his men. "It knows where we are going before we get there. It is always one step ahead of us." The guards were getting nervous. They jumped at every small sound. Some of them reported seeing shadows moving just at the edge of their vision. Engineer Han made another discovery that confused everyone. The ship's main computer had been accessed during the night, but not by any of the crew. Someone looked at our navigation files. Han reported. They studied our star charts and our route back to Earth. But the access codes were not human codes. "What kind of codes were they?" Captain Kim asked. "I do not know. The computer accepted them, but they are not in our system." It is like the creature has its own way of talking to our machines. Dr. Lee thought about this news while she fed baby Hana. The creature could use their computers. It had fixed their broken machinery, and it seemed to respond when her baby cried. "What are you?" she whispered to the empty air. From somewhere in the walls came a soft sound, almost like a sigh. Baby Hana looked toward the sound and smiled. That night, Dr. Lee made a decision that would have seemed impossible 3 weeks ago. Instead of running away when she heard sounds in the walls, she listened. The sounds were always near baby Hana's room. They came when the baby was upset or when something in the room was not working properly. And they always stopped when Hana was comfortable and safe. "I think," Dr. Lee said to herself, "you are not trying to hurt us at all." She looked down at her sleeping daughter. Baby Hana was peaceful and calm, more relaxed than she had been in weeks. "I think you are trying to help." From the darkness above came another soft sound, like an agreement. Dr. Lee was beginning to understand that everything they thought they knew about their uninvited passenger might be wrong. But she was the only one who suspected the truth. The creature they called a demon might be something else entirely. Something that cared about keeping babies safe. The alarm bell started ringing at 6 in the morning. Captain Kim jumped out of his bed and ran to the bridge. Communications Officer Cho was already at her station, her face white with fear. "Captain, we have a problem," Cho said. "Long range. Sensors are detecting multiple ships approaching us. They are not human ships." Captain Kim looked at the main screen. 7 dark ships were moving toward the new Sol like hunting wolves. The ships were ugly and covered with weapons. Kim recognized them immediately. "Keth raiders," he whispered. "How did they find us out here?" The Keth were one of the most dangerous species in known space. They attacked ships for slaves and food. Stories said they would eat human children as special meals. No human ship had ever escaped a Keth raiding. "Fleet, all hands to battle stations," Kim ordered. "This is not a drill." Dr. Lee woke up when the alarm started. She quickly picked up baby Hana and held her close. The little girl was crying because of the loud noise. "Do not worry, Hana," Dr. Lee said softly. "Mama will keep you safe." But Dr. Lee knew the truth. The new Sol was a research ship, not a warship. They had only small weapons for protection against space pirates. Against 7 Keth warships, they had no chance. Security Chief Park ran through the corridors, giving weapons to anyone who could fight. Engineer Han was trying to give the engines more power so they could run away. But the Keth ships were faster and stronger. "Captain," Cho called out. "The Keth are sending a message." "Put it on the main screen," Kim ordered. The face that appeared on the screen was a nightmare. The Keth leader had gray skin, black eyes, and teeth like broken glass. When it spoke, its voice sounded like grinding metal. "Human ship, you will stop your engines and prepare to be boarded. Surrender now, and some of you may live as slaves. Fight us, and we will eat your children while you watch." Captain Kim stood tall, even though he was afraid. "This is Captain Kim, of the Earth vessel New Sol. We are a peaceful research ship. We have done nothing wrong." The Keth leader laughed. The sound made everyone on the bridge feel sick. "All humans have done wrong by existing. You will surrender, or you will die. You have 10 minutes to decide." The screen went dark. Captain Kim looked at his crew. Everyone knew they were going to die. "Can we outrun them?" Kim asked. Engineer Han shook his head. "Our engines are not fast enough. They will catch us in less than an hour." "Can we fight them?" Kim asked Security Chief Park. "We have small weapons," Park said. "They have warships with enough firepower to destroy planets. We might hurt one of their ships before they kill us all." Dr. Lee came onto the bridge carrying baby Hana. "Captain, is there any way to get a message to Earth? Someone should know what happened to us." Kim nodded to Cho. "Send an emergency message. Tell Earth about the Keth fleet in our position. Maybe it will help other ships avoid this area." The 10 minutes passed too quickly. The Keth ship surrounded the new Sol like a metal cage. There was nowhere to run. "They are connecting to our airlock," Han reported. "The boarding will begin in 5 minutes." Captain Kim gathered his crew in the main corridor. Everyone was holding weapons, but everyone knew the weapons would not help much. "We are going to fight," Kim said. "Not because we can win, but because we are human. We do not surrender to monsters." The first explosion came from the lower deck. The Keth were cutting through the ship's hull with their weapons. Then came the sound of boots on metal as the raiders entered the ship. The Keth warriors were even more terrifying in person than on the screen. They were tall and strong, covered in black armor. Their weapons could cut through metal like paper. The human crew fought bravely. Security Chief Park and his guards held the main corridor for almost 10 minutes. Engineer Han used his tools as weapons until a Keth warrior cut him down. Communications Officer Cho tried to keep sending messages to Earth until the raiders found her. One by one, the humans fell or were captured. The Keth did not just kill them quickly. They enjoyed causing pain and fear. Captain Kim made his last stand near the bridge. He had an energy rifle and was behind some metal boxes for protection. 3 Keth warriors were trying to reach him. "You fought well for a weak human," one of the Keth said. "We will keep you alive longer because of it." Kim fired his rifle until it ran out of power. Then he threw it at the nearest Keth and pulled out a metal pipe to use as a club. "Come and get me," Kim said. Meanwhile, Dr. Lee had barricaded herself and baby Hana in the medical bay. She had moved heavy equipment in front of the door and turned off all the lights. Baby Hana was crying softly in her arms. "Shh, little one," Dr. Lee whispered. "We must be very quiet." But the Keth had good hearing. They could hear the baby crying through the walls. "Human female," came a voice from outside the medical bay. "We know you are in there. We can smell your fear and hear your offspring." The sound of cutting tools started. The Keth were burning through the door with plasma torches. Sparks flew as the metal began to melt. "Open the door and we will kill you quickly," the Keth voice said. "Make us work harder and we will eat your baby while you watch." Dr. Lee held Hana closer. The baby seemed to understand the danger because she stopped crying and looked up at her mother with wide, trusting eyes. The door was almost cut through. Dr. Lee could see the red glow of the plasma torches getting brighter. In a few minutes the barriers would fail. "I am sorry, Hana," Dr. Lee whispered to her daughter. "I tried to keep you safe." That was when they heard it. A sound from above that made the Keth stop cutting through the door. It was not human and it was not Keth. It was something else, something angry and dangerous. "What was that?" one of the Keth warriors said. The sound came again, louder this time. It was coming from the air vents above the medical bay. Something was moving in the ceiling, something large and fast. "Spread out," the Keth leader ordered his warriors. "Find whatever made that sound and kill it." But they did not have time to spread out. The ceiling above them exploded downward in a shower of metal and sparks. Through the hole dropped something. From their darkest nightmares, the creature they had thought was hiding had been waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone to threaten the baby. Dr. Lee heard the Keth warriors scream in terror, but these were not screams of pain. These were screams of absolute fear. "Keithak Moore," one of the Keth whispered. "The child shield. It cannot be real." But it was real, and it was very, very angry. The battle that followed was not really a battle. It was a demonstration of what happened when someone threatened a baby in front of a creature whose entire purpose was protecting the young. Through the partially cut door, Dr. Lee could hear the Keth warriors running away, but she could also hear something else. The sound of something large and wounded, breathing heavily just outside her door. Baby Hana had stopped crying completely. She was looking toward the door with curious eyes, as if she knew that whatever was out there had come to help them. "Thank you," Dr. Lee whispered to the darkness. From outside came a soft sound, like a gentle agreement. The demon they had feared had finally shown its true nature. But the real test was still to come. The Keth warrior who had been cutting through the medical bay door was no longer there. In his place was a large hole in the corridor wall where something had thrown him with incredible force. Dr. Lee held baby Hana close and listened to the sounds. Outside, she could hear the creature moving, but now she understood these sounds differently. Every step was careful and controlled. Every movement had a purpose. The creature was not hunting randomly. It was protecting. "Stay back, demon," came a Keth voice from down the corridor. "We have weapons that can kill even you." But the creature made a sound that was not quite a roar and not quite a growl. Dr. Lee had heard baby Hana make similar sounds when someone tried to take away her favorite toy. It was the sound of someone protecting something precious. Through the partially cut door, Dr. Lee could see glimpses of what was happening. The creature moved between the remaining Keth warriors and the medical bay where she and Hana were hiding. It never turned its back on the door that protected the baby. A Keth warrior fired his plasma weapon at the creature. The energy blast hit the creature's shoulder, burning through its dark skin. Blue blood splattered on the corridor walls. But the creature did not fall down or run away. Instead, it did something that surprised everyone. It looked at its wound, then looked at the Keth warrior who had shot it. Then it moved forward with purpose. The Keth warrior had time to scream once before the creature reached him. "It fights like a guardian protecting its young," another Keth said. "But humans are not its species. Why does it care about their offspring?" The oldest Keth warrior, the one with scars covering his gray face, understood first. "Because it is Kethic Moor. The legends say they protect all young ones, not just their own kind." "The legends are just stories," said another Keth. "Look at it fight," the scarred warrior said. "Every move is to keep us away from that door. It does not attack unless we try to get closer to the human baby. This is no legend. This is real." The creature proved the old warrior right. When the Keth moved away from the medical bay, the creature let them go. But when they tried to get closer to baby Hana, it fought like something from their worst nightmares. Dr. Lee watched through the gap in the door as the creature took wound after wound. Its blue blood covered the floor, but it never stopped defending the entrance to the medical bay. One Keth warrior tried to be clever. While the creature was fighting two others, he ran along the ceiling using his magnetic boots. He thought he could drop down behind the creature and attack from there. But the creature heard him coming. Without even looking up, it grabbed a piece of broken metal and threw it with perfect aim. The metal piece hit the warrior in the chest and sent him flying back down the corridor. "How did it know?" The warrior gasped as his friends helped him up. "Because protecting the young is what it was born to do," the scarred Keth explained. "It can sense threats from any direction." The battle continued, but now Dr. Lee could see the truth. The creature was not a monster at all. It was exactly what the Keth had called it: a guardian, a protector of children. Every movement the creature made was careful and precise. It never used more force than necessary. It never attacked unless the Keth tried to threaten baby Hana. And most importantly, it positioned itself so that no matter what happened, the Keth could not reach the medical bay. "We need more warriors," one of the Keth said. "This thing is too strong for just 4 of us." "No," said the scarred warrior. "Do you not understand what we are facing? This is Kethic Moor. In the old stories, a single child shield once fought off an entire army to protect one youngling that was not even its own species." "You believe old stories?" asked another Keth. The scarred warrior pointed at the creature, which was now bleeding from dozen wounds but still standing strong between the Keth and the medical bay door. "Look at it," he said. "Look how it fights. This is not rage or hunger. This is love. This is what happens when something that exists only to protect the innocent finds innocence under threat." As if it heard the conversation, the creature turned its burning eyes toward the Keth warriors. But it did not attack. Instead, it made a sound that Dr. Lee recognized. It was the same sound she had heard in the walls when baby Hana was crying. The creature was trying to communicate. The scarred Keth warrior nodded slowly. "It is asking us to leave. It does not want to fight us. It just wants us to go away and leave the young one alone." "We came here for slaves and food," another Keth said. "We cannot leave empty-handed." "Yes, we can," the scarred warrior said firmly. "Some things are more important than pride. Some things should not be challenged." But the younger Keth warriors did not listen to their elder. They saw the creature's wounds and thought it was getting weak. They decided to attack all together. This was their mistake. When the creature realized that the Keth would not leave the baby alone, something changed. Its careful, controlled movements became faster and more determined. It was no longer just defending. Now it was ending the threat. What happened next was not a battle. It was a lesson about what happened when you threatened a child in front of something that existed to keep children safe. The corridor filled with the sounds of fighting, but the sounds did not last long. When everything became quiet, Dr. Lee heard only one set of footsteps outside her door. Heavy footsteps that moved slowly and carefully. The creature was badly wounded. Dr. Lee could hear it breathing hard, like it was in great pain. But it was still there, still guarding the door. "Are you okay?" Dr. Lee whispered through the gap in the door. The creature made a soft sound, like it was trying to say yes, but did not have the strength for words. Baby Hana had been quiet during the entire fight, like she knew that someone was protecting her. Now she made a small baby sound, like she was trying to thank the creature. The response was immediate. Despite its wounds, despite its pain, the creature made a gentle sound back to the baby. It was the sound a parent makes when comforting a frightened child. Dr. Lee began to understand the full truth. This creature, which they had feared and called a demon, had been trying to protect baby Hana from the very beginning. Every strange thing that had happened on the ship had been the creature making sure Hana was safe and comfortable. "You have been watching over her all this time," Dr. Lee said softly. Another gentle sound from outside the door confirmed her words. "Thank you," Dr. Lee whispered. "Thank you for keeping my baby safe." But their relief was short-lived. From somewhere else in the ship came new sounds. More Keth warriors were coming. The creature had defeated the first group, but there were more enemies aboard the New Soul, and the creature was badly wounded. Dr. Lee could hear it struggling to stay standing. The real test was still coming. Part 5. Blood and Redemption. The sounds of more Keth warriors boarding the ship echoed through the corridors. Heavy boots on metal floors, weapons being prepared, angry voices calling for revenge. Outside the medical bay, the creature was struggling to stand. Dr. Lee could hear its labored breathing through the damaged door. Blue blood dripped steadily onto the floor, making soft splashing sounds. "More of them are coming," Dr. Lee whispered. "You are hurt. You should hide." But the creature made a sound that Dr. Lee now understood. It was the sound of refusal. The creature would not leave baby Hana unprotected. Baby Hana seemed to sense the danger too. She looked toward the door with wide eyes but did not cry. It was as if she knew that crying might bring more bad people to hurt her protector. The first group of new Keth warriors found the corridor outside the medical bay. They saw their dead companions and the blue blood on the walls. Their leader was a massive Keth with ritual scars covering his face. "So the stories are true," the Keth leader said when he saw the creature. "A real child shield. I thought your kind was extinct." The creature raised its head with great effort. Even wounded and bleeding, it positioned itself between the Keith and the medical bay door. "You have fought well, Guardian," the scarred Keth leader continued, "but you are outnumbered now. 6 fresh warriors against 1 dying protector. Stand aside and we will kill you quickly." The creature's response was to spread its arms wider, making sure its body completely blocked the entrance to the medical bay. "I understand," the Keth leader said. "You will die defending the human young one. This is your nature. But know that your death will change nothing. We will still take the baby." That was when Dr. Lee made a decision that surprised even herself. She activated the ship's internal communication system from inside the medical bay. "My name is Dr. Lee." Her voice echoed through the ship's speakers. "I am a scientist, not a warrior. I have spent my life studying the universe and trying to understand it better." The Keth warriors looked confused. Why was the human female talking to them? "For weeks, my crew and I feared the creature outside my door," Dr. Lee continued. "We called it a demon. We thought it wanted to hurt us. We were wrong about everything." The creature turned its head slightly toward the sound of her voice. This being has spent weeks protecting my baby daughter. It fixed our broken machines to keep her comfortable. It adjusted the air and temperature in her room to keep her safe. It has been a better guardian to my child than I ever realized. Dr. Lee's voice grew stronger. And now it is dying to protect her from you. A creature we feared is bleeding its life away to save a human baby that is not even its own species. The Keth leader listened with interest. What is your point, human female? My point is that if something so different from us can love and protect a human child, then maybe there is hope for understanding between all species. Maybe we do not have to be enemies. The scarred Keth leader laughed. Pretty words. But we are Keth. We take what we want. Your words will not save you. Then let me try a different approach, Dr. Lee said. She opened the partially cut door of the medical bay. The creature immediately turned to look at her, its burning eyes wide with concern. It made urgent sounds, trying to warn her to stay hidden. It is okay, Dr. Lee said gently to the creature. I trust you. She stepped out into the corridor, carrying baby Hana in her arms. The creature immediately moved to shield both of them with its wounded body. The Keth warriors raised their weapons, but their leader held up a hand to stop them. Interesting, the Keth leader said. The human female shows courage, or stupidity. Dr. Lee looked directly at the Keth leader. I want to make a trade. You have nothing we want except your lives. I have information, Dr. Lee said. Information about the alien station where we found this creature. Information about technology that could make your people the strongest in the galaxy. The creature looked at Dr. Lee with confusion. It did not understand why she was risking herself and the baby. What kind of information? The Keth leader asked. The station had power sources beyond anything we have ever seen. Weapons that could destroy entire fleets. Computer systems that could predict the future. All of it still working after thousands of years. Dr. Lee was lying, but she said it with confidence. Take that information back to your people. It is worth more than a few human slaves. The Keth leader considered this. Show me proof of this technology. Dr. Lee reached into her pocket and pulled out a small device she had taken from the alien station. It was just a piece of alien metal that glowed with blue light, but it looked impressive. This is a power cell from their technology. It has been running for weeks without losing any energy. Imagine what your people could do with unlimited power sources. The Keth warriors gathered around their leader, whispering among themselves. Dr. Lee could not understand their language, but she could tell they were interested. While the Keth were distracted, Dr. Lee placed her free hand gently on the creature's arm. Its skin was rough like stone but warm like living flesh. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for protecting Hana. The creature looked down at her with its burning eyes. For the first time, Dr. Lee saw something in those eyes that was definitely not monstrous. She saw intelligence, kindness, and deep sadness. The creature knew it was dying, but it also knew that baby Hana was safe in her mother's arms. We will take your information, the Keth leader finally decided, but we will also take some of your crew as slaves. That is our way. The crew is already dead, Dr. Lee said quietly. You killed them when you boarded our ship. The Keth leader looked surprised. His warriors had not reported this to him. All of them? He asked. All except me and my baby. And our protector here. The creature swayed on its feet, weakened by blood loss. Dr. Lee supported it as much as she could, though it was much larger than her. Baby Hana reached out with her tiny hand and touched the creature's wounded arm. The creature looked down at the baby and made the softest sound Dr. Lee had ever heard from it. We have what we came for, the scarred Keth leader said. Information about powerful technology. There is no need to kill a dying guardian and a human female with her young. The younger Keth warriors protested, but their leader's word was final. Besides, the old warrior added, killing a child shield is bad luck, even for Keth. As the Keth warriors left the ship, Dr. Lee sat on the floor beside the creature. Baby Hana was sleeping peacefully in her arms, finally safe. What is your real name? Dr. Lee asked the creature. The creature looked at her for a long moment. Then it made a series of soft sounds that Dr. Lee's translation device picked up. Bomb, the device said. It means guardian in the old language. Hello, Bomb, Dr. Lee said. Thank you for keeping us safe. Bomb's eyes were getting dimmer, but it managed one last gentle sound before it closed them forever. Hours later, when the rescue ships arrived, they found Dr. Lee sitting beside the body of the creature, still holding her sleeping baby. It was not a demon, she told the rescue team. It was an angel. We just could not see its wings. Baby Hannah grew up hearing the story of Bomb, the guardian who died protecting her. She became a scientist like her mother, dedicated to understanding alien species and building bridges between different worlds. And sometimes, late at night when Hannah told her own children about Bomb the Guardian, she could swear she heard a soft, gentle sound in the darkness. The sound of something watching over them, keeping them safe. Some protectors never truly leave the ones they love.